for you. Our Haiti school, which is now a church, they're both bursting at the seams. The reason that I'm here is because this class has generously supported this mission for several years, and now we need to build an addition. As you may remember, our Sarasota Baptist Church involvement began back in the early 2000s with Glenn Statham, and he made many mission trips to Haiti back then, and he met Pastor Jean-Pierre. Does everybody have a handout? If anybody doesn't, raise your hand. Okay, so picture number 1 shows our partner church there, and that's who Glenn met, Pastor Jean-Pierre, in Ranquitte. Ranquitte's about 18,000 people. It's in a mountainous, poorest part of Haiti. They have very little running water or electricity there. In 2005, you can look at picture number 2, they built a stick and mud school building out in a remote area several miles from Ranquitte called Savane Cog. Basically, that's an unchurched area. There's a lot of voodoo there, and that's why they dreamed of putting a Christian school there. They struggled to pay the 3 teachers for the 70 students and feed them 1 meal a day. In 2007, there was a tropical storm that came along and wiped it out. So there was nothing there for a couple of years, and in 2009, Glenn wanted to do something. So you can look at picture 3. He bought this old house and some land across the street for $3,800 out of his own pocket. He partnered with Ebenezer Baptist Church in Ranquitte, and they restarted that school out in Savane Cog. The school still struggled, so in 2011, Glenn brought these needs to this Nelson class here at Sarasota Baptist. The class bought into that vision for this mission and started planning several improvements. You can look at pictures number 5 and 6. In 2014, we sent people down. We dug the first well in the area. The women carry the water, and they were walking a long ways to a pretty dirty stream to get water prior to that. We also built some sanitary pit toilets, which aren't shown, but we built a sanitary kitchen building that was secure. These 3 items are required by the Haitian government for a school to be licensed. So in 2014, we became licensed. There's so many good things that this mission does. For example, I want you to look at picture number 7. Several students are orphans there. Last summer, we had 31 orphans. The church and the school leaders line up families to take these orphans in. And then through your help, you can see the bags of beans and rice. Those families that take them in are given that food. By 2015, the 187 students had outgrown that 209 building that was 782 square feet. And they started, there were 70 kids, and by 15 had 187. So the committee decided to build a second school building, which would be used as a church as a bonus. It's a perfect use of bricks and mortar. You use it for a school for 5 days, and then on Sundays you use it as a church. Doesn't cost a penny more. We couldn't have built this church without God providing, church and school I should say, without God providing the following Sarasota Baptist people. Consider this. We have Craig McAllister. He's a retired building contractor. He planned all the materials and all the construction for every project that we've done there. He's been there 9 times at his own expense, I might add. Herb Atkins from this class, he's a virtual inventor. He can build anything. And he's an excellent mechanic too. He's been there 7 times. Our own Kevin Stone, he's a construction superintendent for a builder of large homes here in Sarasota. And he's also an excellent mechanic. He's been there about 5 times. Many of the rest of you have been there to help these folks and worked hard alongside of them. I, for one, can tell you after going there that it's a moving experience. It'll change your life. Because of these people, we can build quality buildings inexpensively, and those buildings should last 75 years. There's other key people that God has provided for this mission. He wouldn't want me to mention him, but like Dave Nelson, He's a former CPA. He does all of our books. He does the budgets, the planning, all the spreadsheets. He gets receipts for every penny that's spent of your money. He does the follow-up on the to-do list, and he keeps us all accountable. Maurice Victor, he's in our church, and he was raised in Haiti, and he fled for his life because he was in the wrong political party 25 years ago. He was awarded asylum in the United States, and he's a U.S. citizen here. He's a former deacon of Sarasota Baptist Church. He knows the language, obviously, and the culture, and he's been invaluable helping us. And he's been there many times with us. Look at pictures 8, 9, 10, and 11. Because we built a new building in 2016, Ebenezer Baptist was able to retain and recruit good Christian people. If you look at picture 12, that's our 8 wonderful teachers. Now, I do want to note that those teachers are working sacrificially for less money than they could get working someplace else because of their skill sets. I want to feature Curleen Vixamer in picture number 13. She teaches first grade, and she's also our garden teacher. Ebenezer Baptist paid for her wish to go to agricultural university and get an education in ag. She's excited to manage and teach in this garden land that we purchased. She's teaching those kids a valuable life skill, especially in Haiti. That's a valuable life skill. The new building also helped us to recruit. If you look at picture number 15, that gentleman is Hyle Winellis. He's about 25 years old. He's our 7th grade teacher, and he's assistant principal. He's well educated with a 4-year university degree, and he's dedicated. He's the youth leader at the little church out there, and he's also the worship leader for the church. He's transitioning in to be the principal someday as his father, Israel, transitions out. I'm going to tell you also, he's sacrificially there. He was educated in Cap Haitian, which is a large city about 50 miles away. He could have stayed there for more money and more opportunities, but he's from Savane Cog, so God orchestrated that too. The school has grown rapidly since the new building. 187 kids in 2015, and there's 250 there now. My wife, who's a former teacher, did a little space analysis on the kids. And without getting into a lot of specifics, let me just give you the bottom line. There's 250 kids in 1,552 square feet of classroom space. So you teachers can just imagine that. We've been turning away kids, and needless to say, the school is overcrowded. We're striving to provide a quality Christian education, and we need to expand for these reasons alone. But God, he's kind of humorous. He gave us a bonus 2-for-1 deal in that the church is bursting at the seams also. Picture 14 will show you one of the big reasons is their ability to recruit Pastor Tyrell. Consider the odds of the following. After the new building was finished, Pastor Jean-Pierre brought him to Savane Cog and offered him the pastor's job while he was showing off the new 2016 building. Simultaneously, Ranquitte, their new public school, high school with 500 students, was offering him a job to be their principal. He accepted both jobs. He grew up in Ranquitte, or else we wouldn't have had a chance at him. He has a university degree in science education. He has a seminary degree from Berean Evangelical Seminary. He left a very good position as principal of a large school in Cap Haitian. That's a huge city about 50 miles away. He also left a part-time position as assistant pastor of a large church in Cap Haitian. His wife is an RN, and she had a good position in a hospital in Cap Haitian, and she left that position. I just want you to realize the sacrifice that they've made. It's no different than the United States. People want to be in the big cities, especially young people. And he came back to the boondocks again. He works hard at our Savane Cog church. He goes out every Sunday, of course. He also goes out on Tuesdays in the afternoon and evening and conducts prayer meetings. On Thursdays, he goes out there, does Bible study, counseling, and discipling of the new believers. Even his RN wife goes with him on Thursday on their little motorcycle. She counsels the local women in hygiene and home economics and personal issues. On Saturdays, he goes out again and does evangelism and leadership training. We are so blessed to have a man with this background and status in the community. He adds a lot of credibility to our little Savane Cog Baptist Church. And folks, we get all of this for $80 per month and a used motorcycle. So what's the spiritual depth of this church? Well, get this. They've been open about 1.5 years, and come this January, they will have baptized 59 people. Now, these aren't just quickie baptisms. Every new believer must complete 6 weeks of discipling classes before being baptized. When we built the new school building, a byproduct was that it could be a church, no extra cost. It has a capacity as a church of 110 people. We thought maybe 60 or 80 people would attend. The attendance the first year rapidly pushed 100 people, and now they're averaging 140, and they can't get them all in the building. With the new addition that we are building in 2019, the maximum capacity would be 350 people in church configuration. The pews fold up and the desks fold up and make pews. Our people designed those. It's just a wonderful, adaptable thing. So Dave Perrin was asking me, well, what's the market analysis of what can you expect for attenders? Well, we did some research, but just very roughly I can report to you, there's about 100 parents of the students that attend the school that don't go to church. There's another about 150 students of the 250 that are church age that don't go to the church. So there's 250 potential right there. If you take the surrounding area, about 1,500 people, and take 20% possibility there, that's another 300. It's the only church in the area, and they don't have much to do on Sundays. So that totals a rough target audience of about 550. So we can't wait to see what God does there at that church. Now turn your page over to the back side, if you would, and you can read the history later, but there's some additional items that we added from the last time you saw it. Go ahead, Glenn.
I just wanted you to add to what you said. We have 15 more people to baptize in February now.
In February, yes. So
15 more than what you just said.
15 plus 59, that's a big number, big number. Okay, look at the budget. I just wanted to point out, you've seen it before, but it's a little different now, and I just wanted to point out the red highlighted things. We serve over 5,000 meals per month there at a cost less than 20 cents per meal. The average Haitian Christian school on the right side there is $35 per student per month. We do it for a little under $8 per student per month. Why? Because if you look at the bottom, the administration and overhead is zero. This church, Sarasota Baptist, takes nothing. Ebenezer Baptist Church in Haiti takes nothing. Our people travel there at their own expense. So, folks, don't stop your monthly support. You guys have been so generous and so faithful with your monthly support. It goes up and it goes down, but we always get the monthly support we need, about $2,000 a month. That's the most important. Now, if there's some left over, consider the bottom part there and look at the square footages. And you can see the diagram. We propose to add 1,360 square feet of addition to the back side of the church. It's going to cost $65,000. Now, I'm pleased to report to you that as of this minute, we have $30,000 already collected. People have heard about this and sacrificially, generously given. So we need another $35,000, so please pray about that, think about it, and consider a sacrificial gift. We're in a hurry because The last time we built, our guys were working in the hot summer, and they're getting old, and they just can't do it anymore. So we want to get going as fast as possible and finish by April. Now, these gifts, of course, are tax deductible, and we've got another bonus for you. This is December of 18. You can write a check right now, or by the end of the year, and then you can write another check in January, and you get a deduction in 2 different years. If you can give your checks to me, or Glenn, or Dave Nelson, or you can put them in the offering plate, or you can mail them in. Just be sure the red writing on the bottom that you mark at Sarasota Baptist Church, and specifically mark that account number on there and identify it. We want to make sure that the funds get to the right place. Folks, this is an investment in souls. You won't find a better deal. And my calculations, I think it's the lowest cost per potential soul saved that I've ever seen. That concludes my remarks. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can see me or Glenn or Dave afterwards. I'd just like to recognize anybody that has been to Haiti and worked on the project. Stand up right now.